As Frank said, my name is Elena. I am a senior manager on our product marketing team. And I've been working very closely with this idea of applications. And I'm super excited to give you guys a sneak peek into the first one that we are announcing. It's an application for digital marketing. And we really hope that we're driving forward this ability to have a better experience in Looker. So, without further ado, we'll give you a sneak peek. All right. So what you're seeing right now is our cross-channel overview. The idea here is that we've created a space for a digital marketer. Let's say you're a digital marketer at an e-commerce company. I can come in here and I can get a quick view of all my spend. So we see we have 4 sources here. And the idea is that we've generalized all of this to be able to really connect all these data sources on the back end to be able to get a high-level overview of what's going on in our spend and how successful we're being. But we can see here that about 30% of the spend is going into Google. And so we're going to want to dive into the channel specifics of what's driving the spend. So we're going to go into our campaign dashboard. All right. And what we see here is at the top there are 7 KPIs. And we believe that these are truly the key performance indicators of success for a campaign. And so underneath each of these is a dashboard and a report to show people what's happening and what's driving this change and quickly get them situated in their Google ad spend. And so we can scroll down and see that we've sliced and diced the data in a number of different ways to get lots of new takes on how to understand this. So we have by device, by geo. We've done a lot of great stuff with comparing over time to really just find these nuggets that are super helpful. The bottom piece down here is a great thing that I'm super stoked on, is that we've added period over period analysis to this to automatically give you a reference point for what's going on and identify things that have changed since the prior period. So in the lavender, we have this period, and then we can see that there's been a significant change, actually, from the prior period in the grape. Now, because all of this is set in Looker, and all of this is built off of Looker, we can leverage all of Looker's super powerful functionality. And a lot of that includes the filtering. And so thus far, we've been looking at this for the last 28 days. But we could go in and we could change that, and we could look at it by a different slice. Or if we wanted to maybe dig into a certain campaign or a certain set of campaigns that we were doing, we would open this campaign tab. And there we go. We could sort this on our KPI, and then select the ones that we wanted to see, and really start to get a far deeper slice into this data and dive into the things that we really want to know about as a digital marketer and into that raw data right here from Looker. So it's great so far. We've seen, an overview on the cross-channel. We kind of have now a basic understanding of what's going on with all our Google ads. But what we wanted to do is we wanted to take this a step further and really help people drive this forward, help people make better decisions immediately. So the next thing I'm going to pop into here is our optimizations tab. So optimizing spend is the holy grail of digital advertising. And what we have done is we have taken campaigns and entities that are statistically significantly different from their peers and bubbled those up to highlight them. And so the idea here is that automatically I see what's working. I see the ads and the groups that I can up the bid on or change the budget to really maximize what I'm getting from those. And I can also see what's not working. So I can turn those off quickly and make sure that I save that money to be reallocated to a better cause. So this is our digital marketing application. We hope that it improves the experience of Looker. The best piece of this is really that this is all sitting inside Looker. So any of the content that I look at in this application can also be referenced in other parts of my Looker instance. And we keep that reliability, that trustworthiness of the data while being in this far more tailored solution. So with that, I am going to bring up Marcell Babai to talk to you guys about Google BigQuery.
All right, thank you everyone for coming. So my name is Marcell. I'm a senior sales engineer at Looker, and today I'm going to talk about using machine learning in Looker using Google BigQuery. Now, typically, we don't really think about Looker as a machine learning application, but because of the way it's architected as a platform, and we can go directly to databases, we get to use all the fun new functionality that those databases provide us. So today we're going to be using BigQuery's machine learning, BQML, and in this example, we're going to work with some data that is from Seattle's bike share system to try and do some predictions. In this case, we're also going to use the weather and try and predict how many trips people are going to take on a given day. So let's dive right into this right here. So we can see here, using LookML, we're just going to define a couple of really simple things. Here, just an input data source. We got some temperature and a trip count that we're trying to predict. So really simple to get things started off, but let's see how we're actually going to use BQML here. So we are just going to create a view using a model in BQML. And this is the nice thing about BigQuery is that they've created models and tables, which are just essentially interchangeable objects. And we can just use this. All we need to do is set what our algorithm is, in this case linear regression, the trip count we're trying to predict, a few parameters, I won't go into the details there, and we're just going to select everything from that table I just described up at the top. So real simple workflow for us to get this all started here, and real simple definitions. And now let's take a look at what this actually looks like. So here we have our dashboard that we've put together. Again, real simple to do that inside of Looker for those that are familiar. And we've got kind of the basic summary statistics about how our model performed, including as well some information about how long it took to train and how quickly it trained, all those things. Now, unfortunately, this is a pretty terrible model. For anybody that's familiar, that R-squared is really low. Let's see if we can make some improvements here going back to the LookML. So I'm just going to add in another column here. In this case, we're just going to add in the humidity. Again, it's important to note that this could be any field. This could be something that the business has defined, something that other people are using, could require lots of joins, complex calculations. It really doesn't matter. It's really simple to put this together and have all this version controlled, easily encapsulated logic and all of that. And everything just flows right through. I don't need to change the model itself or anything like that, the machine learning model. It's just selecting star anyway. So now that I've brought this into here, let's actually see how this works. We're just going to have to refresh this dashboard, which is going to rerun all those models, and hopefully we'll get a better R-squared this time. Give that just a second, and there we go. So it's still not amazing, just a slight improvement here, but at least it's starting to get us towards something better. And this is a really simple way we can continue to iterate on this, just going back to the LookML, coming back to the dashboard, seeing how our results went, without having to leave the application or move any data anywhere as I'm going to source system or anything like that. Everything is contained within BigQuery, making this a much simpler workflow for the data scientists. But let's fast forward a little bit to once we might have something a little bit better, more operational for us to use in the field. So here we have a dashboard where now we're not just predicting trip counts for the whole day in Seattle based on weather, but actually at individual bike stations. How many bikes are going to leave and go to that station on that particular day, so we can get the difference between those two to see if we have a surplus or a deficit at that station the next day using the forecasted weather that we're going to bring in. So now I have that whole list here on the side, and I as a bike station operator can now take action on this. So if I want to reroute some bikes here from a place that has a lot of bikes over to somewhere that has fewer, I can just select how many I want to reroute and go ahead and submit that. And this can immediately inform a dispatch or somebody along those lines to now take those bikes and reroute them to accommodate for the proper demand upcoming. So with this entire workflow here, I've gone from being able to do the creation and iteration upon that machine learning model all the way through to effectively a custom application that can interact with my other systems without having to leave Looker and without having to move a lot of data. So this can really hopefully get you starting to think about how data scientists can really better integrate with the business in terms of creating the tools that they need to actually use that data in an effective way in their organization. So thank you very much for listening. And next, we're going to have Mark Kubik talking about how they're using Looker at Global Payments. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Marcell, and good morning to all of you. Well, I'm excited to have the invitation to talk to you all today to give you a sneak peek at a world-class portal that we're building at Global Payments, where we had selected to leverage Looker as the visualization and data access platform for the offering that we're rolling out to our merchants this year. So without any more time taken, I'm going to go over and show you the actual application that we have here today. What we've utilized Looker for is to provide the visualization for this portal, and that's what you see on the screen here for you today. We have tried to keep a constant look and feel using Looker as the visualization platform and the data access layer. You'll see here that what we have done is selected a bunch of data that our merchants wants to see around the world. They can drill into each of the components here. You can go over to the bar charts and you can drill into, with what Looker has, the individual pieces of information that every merchant wants to see. They all have different needs. When we designed the platform, we had to design for the small business owner, for your dad, your mom. We had to design for the person that owns 4 franchises and design for the Verizons of the world. But what we've tried to encapsulate here is keep a standard look and feel, and Looker helps us do that throughout the application. We have designed a bunch of reports here for merchants to be able to go out and get the data that they need to run their day-to-day business. With Looker's that data access layer, we can use it to power the visualizations and power these custom reports that we have here that have a lot of search capabilities for them. Now, while this is a custom application and I can go out here and get 30 days worth of data, I can bring it back. And like I've talked about, Looker provides here the visualizations that you see. It also provides that API layer, that access layer, that provides the information down here that my merchants, my customers need to see. And if you look at the visualizations, we can bring back the things up top that they need to drill into, and we can also bring back the detailed data through that API that Looker provides down here in the different pieces. I can go over here and I can view the detail. I've retrieved that through that API call so that my merchants can operate with this application. And most of you who dealt with a BI tool before know that a lot of people want to use it as an extract tool. Kind of hate that. But with Looker, every LookML I get out there, you know, is an API, right? So now I can not only power my visualizations, my custom reports, but I can put an API layer on top of this and expose those API layers out to my larger customers that just want to get data and consume it themselves. With the flexibility, like Frank had talked about with Looker as a platform, I have all those options ahead of me. So while my merchants may look at the different data, I have to deal with the different personas. We've created that simple to use platform on top of it where I can add and remove columns from these reports. I didn't want to see that. I don't have to make 15 variations. I've brought back all the data and I can do it. I have also allowed for search. You'll see here that the other custom report that I have is I allow my merchants to go out there and search for any piece of data they want. I have hundreds of variables out there that they can search on. Here again, I've brought all this back through the Looker API. I've let them search on any of these variables, and once I bring it back to my merchants, down below here you can see I have that same look and feel. All this data is coming back. I went and found 8 million records in the time that we're talking here. And then I can actually go over when the merchant finds the record that they need. I can look and I can view the detail of that record and bring all that back to them seamlessly through that application. And I'm really excited to show you a bunch of this and all the different information. We have rolled this application out to 46 merchants worldwide. And we will be rolling it out to tens of thousands and to our entire it'll be close to 1 million merchant base. This is used by internal and external folks so that we, as Terrence alluded to, we've put all the data in a data lake, in Google Data Lake on top of BigQuery. Looker allows us to access that data seamlessly. provide it through visualizations, custom reports, APIs, with one look at that data to everybody around the world in all the markets that we're in. And if you have any more questions later, there's a hurricane making a mess out of Georgia, so I might be here for a while if you have any questions later. All right, thank you.